Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the Transformers. On this episode, Skybound is looking like a victim of its own success. TFNation has got a new guest announcement, and Takara's Wild King anime debuts on YouTube. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025, and this is episode 436 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's letting its imagination run wild. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Howdy. Let's talk Transformers.
All right, and unfortunately, we start off with a bit of a sad note for Alt Mode because we've lost another G1 voice actor. So Clive Revel, who was the voice of Kickback in the G1 animated series, and also did the voice of Jetfire in the Revenge of the Fallen video game, has passed away. So he had a long battle with dementia, so it was not unexpected, but he died March 11th in a care facility. So condolences to his family. He was also the voice of the original voice of Emperor Palpatine in The Empire Strikes Back. So that was surprising. I didn't realize that. So as time marches on, we lose more and more of these classic voice actors. So condolences to their family, and thank you for all the memories. All right, let's get into the show. We'll start off with some comics news.
All right, we're going to start off with not directly Transformers related, but if you've been following comic news, you know that Diamond Comics has declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and essentially they're selling pieces of themselves. And this is a story about Alliance Entertainment Holding Corporation that is going to be buying most of Diamond. It's still subject to court approval, but they are buying Diamond Comic Distributors and Diamond Select Toys and Collectibles, Collectible Grading Authority, which it's their grading thing. And essentially, it's like most of the big comic companies are not using Diamond anymore. Like Image and Skybound use Lunar. Marvel, I think, are they with Random House?
I thought they were with Penguin, but
Random House, same.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. Okay, right. Yeah. So, I mean, Diamond only has like a lot of smaller companies, but if your comic shop gets collectibles and toys, a lot of that comes through Diamond Select. So that would be affecting anyone that like gets Transformers through your comic shop. It would affect you there. But hopefully if this goes through, I mean, Alliance, according to the story, they're looking to combine it with their game distributors and basically add, build up the distribution. And currently, like Diamond does like D&D, Magic the Gathering, which are Hasbro things, Pokemon, and just you can see like with the Hasbro wanting to get more into gaming, this is gonna play into that, assuming it goes through. So I could see a Transformers tabletop game, another one could go through this. So I don't know. We just wanted to mention it. It's a Diamond. It's a sad thing where they just couldn't keep up with changing times and they're going out of business. So
my question about it is why is somebody buying a obviously dying or sinking ship here.
You're
right?
buying the contracts and the
Mm,
inventory
yeah.
and like all of the distribution deals and stuff. So you're not really, the Diamond name I don't think is really.
I mean, it's pretty tarnished at this point.
Yeah. So I would imagine they're going to be using their own name, but they get into all these stores that Diamond had deals with.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Yeah. Next up is this is from Bleeding Cool. Apparently Skybound, they've done this before where they're looking for more investment, and they increase their valuation up to $625 million. But what was interesting about this is you're seeing some stats here, like the Energon universe sold over 4 million copies to date, and that's with the state of comics right now. That is really impressive. Walking Dead,
that doubled its existing comics business.
yeah, Energon universe basically. It's been crazy.
But that's only how many comics have been issued, right? Because Transformers is at 18, Void Rivals is at 17, G.I. Joe is at 5.
Yeah,
and
we had
the various spin-offs are, they were 4 and 5 a piece or something like that, right? So they were reprinted to death, and that's where your 4 million is coming from, right?
Yeah, but still, I mean, and also this is it says it's 2024, so that's only one calendar year. So we're talking 12 issues of Transformers, 12 issues, well, like 10 issues of Void Rivals. How many months off did they take in 2024?
Does this also count the free comic book day book that is technically sold to stores?
I would imagine it does, because they also sold that outside of free comic book day.
They did. Yeah, but the free comic book day one is the big one, which is technically sold to stores for like a quarter or something like that, right? So yeah. I mean, whatever pumps your numbers up, right? But still, it is an Energon universe comic, and it is. I mean, I'm not trying to poo-poo on this story, but it is a lot of books they've sold.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Walking Dead sold 1 billion in comics, and I mean that story is done, right? They're reprinting.
Yeah,
or
they're reprinting the books in color now.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's just I hadn't seen that big number for the Energon universe stuff. That's pretty impressive. However, less impressive is they have also laid off some people. They laid off some social media people, and then their head of global publicity joined the company in February and just quit. So I'm not sure what sign that gives, but I don't know. The social media stuff, the reasoning given was that the positions were no longer needed. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but I mean, it wasn't anyone on the creative side. So I mean, maybe it's not a huge signal. I mean, with all the success on the comic side, but it was just more Skybound news.
Yeah, I mean, this is less alarming than, say, like IDW's massive layoffs.
Right. They're not
business.
Yeah, they're not like letting editors or writers go. And it looks like, they've apparently dropped or laid off people around this time last year too. So that just might be something that they do regularly.
It's gotta suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Skybound is definitely still they're on the upswing. I mean, I think they're Invincible, the TV show is going strong, so that's continuing. The Energon Universe comics are growing. They're doing they're returning to the Invincible universe with a new Battle Beast comic that's going to come out next month.
Not to mention a live action movie that's in the works.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to
might be animated. I'm don't quote me on the live action part.
But still, they seem to be doing the TV side of things much better than IDW.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bringing down the entire company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're probably not paying for their own production. I think Amazon is probably paying the lion's share of that for actually producing the show. So yeah, but I mean, Robert Kirkman seems to have a bit of a Midas touch with comics that he's created. So good for him.
Good for
All right.
him.
Well, I mean, now that he's got the Transformers license, I want it to be successful.
No, it's true.
He's got an open invitation anytime he wants to come on our show.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
All right. So that's all for comics news. Let's move on to some media news. All right, so we talked in last week's toy show. We talked about the debut of Takara's Wild King toy line. So this is their new kids-focused toy line. It's comparable to the Cyber World toy line that Hasbro is doing in the West, but this is completely Japanese-focused for this Wild King. It is, so far the only characters they've introduced are Optimus Prime and Megatron as Transformers, and then 4 Beast characters on this new planet. And now they have introduced the anime this on YouTube. They've put out the first 2 episodes. As of the time we're recording this, we've got the first 2 episodes. Of course, it's all in Japanese because it's a Japanese focused product. I did watch the video, and I turned on the YouTube automated translation and I think I got about 70% of the story. It's a kids focused line. It's not, I watched it so you don't have to, basically. There's this new so what's interesting, what I did find interesting was that it seemed like at the beginning that Optimus Prime and Megatron were actually working together, and like Optimus was talking about how Megatron was searching for Energon on this new planet that they went to. I forget the name of the planet, but Megatron got somehow lost contact, and then Optimus Prime came looking for Megatron to go to find what happened to him. So they weren't fighting each other. But then he lands on the planet. He runs into this giraffe transformer, and then finds out the energy on this planet is the 4 elemental energy. It's like earth, fire, electricity, and something else.
Water.
I forget. Water, maybe. Yeah, it's probably water. It's probably water.
Well, it's on here in the description.
Yeah.
Earth, wind, and fire.
There you go.
The planet is Elementros.
Yes, yeah, Elementros. Yeah. So it's earth, fire, water, and lightning. So I guess no wind, but I guess lightning is more exciting than wind, I guess. So each of these beast characters represents one of these elements, and when they combine with the Transformer, then that gives them their power. And so it's kind of like mini cons in Armada. And so Optimus Prime he runs into this giraffe. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding. Then he's like, "Oh, hey, I'm looking for my friend Megatron. Have you seen him?" And then Megatron shows up, and Megatron is now totally he's bad again, and because he's found that he can use the power of these elements to gain more power. So he's already combined with the red Tyrannosaurus and gotten the fire power. I believe this is Captain Volta or something is the guy's name. He looks like Beast Wars Megatron. And so he starts beating up Optimus, and then the giraffe is like, "Hey, I can help you," and he combines with the giraffe and gets lightning power. So the lightning power fights against the fire power, and they have a fight and stuff. That's pretty much the end of the show. So it's going to continue to be him, Optimus, and Megatron fighting over these elemental powers throughout the series, I guess. We haven't seen any other characters, so I don't know if there's going to be more characters beyond these like 6 initial characters in this line. But yeah, that's that. It's a simple story. I was just curious what they were going to do with this. I think and like I said last week, I think these toys actually look a lot better than the Cyber World toys. I mean, maybe the computer animation for the show is not great, but the actual toys in terms of things I think a kid would want to play with, these are very colorful and look pretty like they you can pull them apart and combine them and stuff. Looks like a little bit more interesting than what we saw in the Cyber World toys that we saw in Toy Fair. So, and then of course at the end of the video is just like advertisements for the toys and showing how they can be taken apart and combined and everything. So a literal toy commercial in the Transformers show. So, and yeah, so it was enough to I thought give it a look to see what's going on with Takara. And that's it. So Daryl, you weren't here last week, so you had, this is your first exposure to Wild King. I don't know if you have any thoughts on these things.
Well, like we were talking about before the show, when I was kind of flipping through it, is the fact that they have like a giraffe transformer and it's not long rack is just I'm beside myself with that. It's just ridiculous. You already have a transformer that's a giraffe. Just make it long rack, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of different characters here that are in the show or figures, that are in the show that already fit the profile of existing characters. Like just make them who they should be. But I mean, whatever. Maybe they lost the trademark to long rack. I don't know. But
this giraffe is light long, so he's lightning. Maybe that the point that he's got the lightning power. They call him light long instead of long rack.
They're elemental forces.
That's still dumb. The figures look like they're very much made for kids, which is exactly the point of the show. These shows are really short, which fits in with the new age of television for kids, nice and short shows. The animation, we were talking about how, it does kind of fit in with the way of like the Unicron trilogy kind of looks. It's very kind of like the 3D animation kind of stomps around like when they're walking. It's not really fluid, but I still think it looks way better than Beast Wars in '96. I'm hearing some hate. I've been getting some hate on that, but
I mean, the story is not as good, but the animation is
I'm not saying the story. I'm saying the animation is better. So, I'm all for better animation, but it's a kid's cartoon and yeah, they've already got the toy line fit for it. Let it go. I have no interest in watching this or reviewing it, Charles. There is, yes, there are Transformers
for G.I. Joe.
There will be neither. Let's do neither.
I mean, it was a slow week, Daryl. I don't plan on reviewing this every week going forward.
No, and I acknowledge that. I'm just saying this is it's neat to know, and I think our audience appreciates knowing that there are other Transformer stories being told out there, especially in Japan, that are, we don't get over here. And if you really want to dive into it, you can, So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think it was years ago when we were doing this show and we found out there was a Russian one, and I still never really dug into where that kind of came from, but like, and if we could kind of get it here, but there was like this Transformer show from Russia, and yeah, just kind of wild. And yeah, so they're out there. You just kind of you come across them every now and then, and yeah, it's neat to see.
There's still that Chinese Transformers that's based on like Chinese mythology combined with Transformers. It's like Neza or something. So
yeah, that's right.
There's like there's a whole bunch of that shows out there for that, and its own toy line and everything. So yeah.
Like I can still remember being in my 20s and finding out that there was a Japanese continuation of the G1 series, and I was blown away. You know, I was well past my transformering days at the time, but I was like, holy shit, like I could actually sit down and watch Transformers again. And then at the time they were not dubbed, right? So I was not real interested in sitting there and watching, you know, full on anime with the Japanese subtitles or whatnot. But yeah, it was it absolutely blew my mind that this stuff had continued on in Japan. And it was, yeah, it was really exciting to me. So to have this kind of stuff and to kind of come across it, regardless of it being made for little kids, is still kind of cool.
All right. Well, that's all the media news for this week. So let's move on to some convention news.
All right, just one thing to mention news, and it's for TFNation, which is August 8th through 10th in Birmingham, UK. And Marcelo Mater is going to be there. He was an artist on the Energon Comics. I think that's Dreamwave. Is that right?
Yes, Energon is Dreamwave. Yep.
IDW, Spotlight, Soundwave, Grimlock, Metroplex. Well, I think those are all Spotlight, Soundwave, Grimlock, Metroplex. The Stunticon Job, which was a BotCon comic, Shatterglass 2, and currently he's doing a lot of packaging stuff for Hasbro, including Age of the Primes. The he did a lot of the Generation stuff, and he did character design back in 2010 for War for Cybertron. So really cool. I think it's great that he's getting out there, and hopefully he has a lot of stuff to talk about with the different aspects that he's done art for relating to the brand.
And he is a Hall of Famer now.
Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer, so that's cool.
Yeah, I was at BotCon 2014. I got to hang out with Marcelo Mater and a bunch of other comic artists there.
Cool.
Went to Universal Studios Hollywood and rode the Transformers ride with them. So that was
nice.
That was a cool experience. So he's a good guy, was what I'm saying. All right. I think that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Of course, at the end of every episode, we give a shout out to our masterpiece donatrons. Those are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So that's why they get a mention in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forex Levengood and Steve C. Of course, for being a donatron, you get some bonus perks and good stuff. That includes our bonus show, We Like Big Bots, and you can get all the episodes of that on our Patreon page. That's once you can become a donatron, you can watch all 14 episodes there. We've got our next episode of Empire of Rust, episode 132, 20,000 Leagues Under the Track. That's available at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And we've got episode 133 coming next week for donatrons. You get the bonus uncut version, and then you'll have to wait another week for the regular version of episode 133. So stay tuned for that. We still got our Transformers exclusive Skybound Transformers #1 commission comic with cover art by EJ Sue. You can get that at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And lastly, we've got our Toy Hacks April promo code BunnyBot. Use that code BunnyBot throughout the month of April, and that will give you 15% off all your purchases at toyhacks.com. So again, BunnyBot. And use that throughout the month of April. And that's it. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.